Alright, just a quick look at the butterfly we cut yesterday on the laser cutter. I've cleaned it up. Well, friends, good morning to everyone, as they say. We're heading to the factory to film a video, check out the machines, and test them. We just pulled into this rest area on the toll road. Parking, to pee, to poop. Using the bathroom is free. Food, eating, they've definitely got all that there. Take a look right away. They have these covered parking spots. So that's the main toll road right there. And we're coming off the ramp and parking right here. There are electric charging stations right here, which is pretty convenient. By the way, we're driving an electric car. There, trash cans, whatever you need, and any quantity, any size. So I think it's pretty decent overall. We have big plans for today. I'll film more along the highway, what they're growing in the fields. You'll be amazed too, because they grow some unusual things in the fields. Look at this, an interesting topic. There are trees here, young ones specifically. You might think these are windbreaks. They're actually not windbreaks. This is a tree plantation for timber harvesting. So everything we're seeing now are basically forestry gardens. So what's happening here? They plant these small saplings. We just drove past them. They plant them in rows very densely, so the tree grows straight up. So all the wood we see here, all this timber will be harvested. We've already passed those fields, so if I come across fields again with this kind of small growing forest stock, I'll definitely film it for you. And they gradually cut it down accordingly after 6 to 10 years. So in 6 to 10 years, by the way, we're approaching another one, a tree garden. And so as soon as the trees grow up, they plant new ones and gradually harvest them like that. So these are rows of trees. It's just like how we grow potatoes or corn. They grow trees the same way, but with a turnover period of 6 to 10 years. Look, a simple solution to keep the light from blinding you from oncoming cars. They plant special shrubs that basically protect your eyes. Glare screens don't work 100%, plus they break off sometimes. There are no problems with shrubs. You plant them, trim them, and forget about it. So the best option I see here on the toll roads is shrubs. You understand, right? These machines are built with working areas starting from small ones. So, well, again, we're at a factory that makes small machines. Doors, frames, lighting, it's all there, obviously. Guide rails. Regarding the clamps, pneumatic clamps. Again, I'm not going to look too closely here or ask them to test this specific equipment. I'm not interested in it. Slides. As for the motors, if I'm not mistaken, they install from 0.7 kilowatts to 1.5 kilowatts. The motors are servo drives. Some have steppers, but I see servos here, specifically servo drives. The power source can be, again, set from 800 watts, which makes no sense for these machines, up to 3 to 6 kilowatts. Here we have a head with autofocus. So for a small production, this is good equipment that can be installed. It's an enclosed type. There won't be any smoke, soot, dirt, or any exhaust. Equipment with a small working area. So this is the machine I wanted to get for myself. With a 60 by 60 working area, it also comes with a pneumatic clamp and pads. Servo motors, it has ball screw guides, and it also has autofocus. The weight of such equipment averages from 1,200 kilograms, also using max, Raycus, or GPT sources. They don't use IPG here. Cooling, a chiller, so that'll be a separate unit. And let's not forget about the nitrogen supply, or an air compressor, plus the exhaust system, the assembled unit. Naturally, the pressure here is low, no real issues, no special hassles, so it's also a machine with a small working area. Again, to keep the limit switch magnets from tripping, they put tape there. 60 by 60 working area. Now we'll go over to it. A remote control, like on all decent laser machines, and a head with automatic focus. Also, the guides here are, if I'm not mistaken, ball screws. I just can't see them physically. 1 kilowatt servo motors are installed. We won't be doing any tests. Oh, and by the way, something we couldn't manage last year was brass cutting. Brass is fundamentally important because it's a field everyone's interested in right now. So look, brass cutting, holes, pedals, all sorts of intricate designs. You can cut anything. The thickness, if I'm not mistaken, is 1.5 millimeters. So we're interested in brass. The machines here, again, I'll show you the source. I think it's 1.5 kilowatts if I'm not mistaken. I'm wrong. We have a 3 kilowatt chiller, so air or nitrogen supply via compressor. Oh, a compressor for the clamps. The backside, the source is located at the bottom on one of the sides. We'll get to that too, and I'll show you in more detail. The source is somewhere around here. Regarding the housing design, machines with small working areas, 60 by 60, 50 by 50, or 1 meter by 1 meter, they're made in different housings for different needs. Again, this factory has everything. So in this format, we're specifically interested in small working machines for any office. So not this option. We'll be looking at compact versions that sit on a table weighing up to 300 kilograms. We'll get to them. They're a bit further down. Let's walk through the shop. Basically, it's awesome. For those with a small shop, this is again a request for small scale cutting. And here, again, brass cutting, which they couldn't show or demonstrate to us last time. There are a lot of parts here that are cut specifically on these machines. I'll tell you right now, for those dreaming of cut in 3 millimeters, these machines aren't suitable. They cut brass, but not 3 millimeters. Here, I see a 1 millimeter piece, most likely brass, but it cuts cleanly without any soot or burn marks. So a lot of things have been cut here. No autofocus. I can't say anything about the power right now. As for the gas, we're using nitrogen. So guys, regarding this equipment, this is what we need, what we're interested in, what everyone's interested in at least. These are the machines we'll be ordering, assembling, preparing, and importing. Sales will take place in Russia. Accordingly, equipment that will be in demand for most of you. Cutting brass at 1 millimeter, I think 1.5 is the max. Also stainless steel. Possibly aluminum, I think. I read the technical specs. It cuts from, I believe, 0.5 with no problems, up to 1.5 to 2 millimeters, depending, again, on the speed. Max photonics and Reka sources are used with power levels of 800, 1200, and 1500 watts, mostly with air cooling. This is one of the housing options. There are many different ones here. We'll look at all the options today. I'll record a full video. So there's even this option. A full video will be recorded regarding this equipment, like what it looks like and what it can do. I'll definitely post it on YouTube, and I'll definitely provide a link in the Telegram channel. So the machines assembled here interest me. Again, if we're getting a 1.5 kilowatt machine, it must have a chiller. The power consumption for such a machine will be around 8 kilowatts on average on one phase, or split into 2 or 3 different phases. And finally, for your understanding, air cooling, exhaust, air supply, and 220 volt power. Here's a funny point, very important. They connected the whole thing to a power plug, but they plugged it into a regular extension cord. It's not critically important. The air supply here isn't from a central system, just normal pressure, or they connect nitrogen as needed. Mostly, these machines run on air and nitrogen. Guys, if you're interested, I've left all the phone numbers in the description. DM me about prices, power, or materials. From a thumbs up, and I'll provide a full video about these machines. And here's another thing that, well, people often don't get when they ask me about the brands or the name. Look, all these machines are basically Legos, like Lego assembled from different housings and different frames. It's all ordered from different places. These housings, those housing, it's all assembled in different places, comes together at the assembly factory, and is then outfitted. Same with the robotic arms. They don't build them here, they don't cast the iron parts, right? They just equip them with welding machines, equip them with the necessary laser equipment, and then send them off to the supplier. One robotic arm, and there's a small power arm over there. So there's plenty of this equipment here, but the main thing to understand is that a name, brand, or logo can be put on any machine for anyone and called whatever you want. Lunch is sacred. We're on a schedule here. They check the fingerprint to see when people come and go. Anyway, it's lunch, the lights go out completely. Everyone scans their finger. The one they set up here originally, obviously that's not going to work for me here. So check it out. Whoops, buddy, you don't work here. Get the hell out of here. Anyway, it's a cool setup. Now we'll take a closer look at everything. I don't know, they're strictly on schedule. 12 o'clock and nobody cares. Whatever the problem, it's lunchtime. That's it. We're going to eat. Didn't get to film much here, but we traveled far, almost 400 kilometers to get to this factory. Alright guys, they're promising to cut 2 millimeters of brass with this machine. And that'll be a miracle because last time we used the 1.5 kilowatt machine with the 60 by 60 work area. And nothing worked there. No matter what we tried, nothing worked. They explained that the autofocus here is manual, meaning there is no autofocus. In this case, it's a finer metal cutting, meaning a more finely focused beam. I won't give any specific data right now, just so I don't make a mistake. It gave me a lot of info, and I didn't catch it all. We'll write it all down separately, get the data, and then move forward. Next step is cutting stainless steel. If it cuts brass, then stainless is no problem at all. Accordingly, there is an option to switch to the BM110 head. That'll be an extra charge. So far, I'm thrilled. I'm gonna make a long video, a full review of all this equipment. How we'll cut, how we'll saw. I'll show and explain everything. We'll see how it all turns out in the end. They cut aluminum too. The level of detail is also quite good. These guys are really doing a great job in that regard, honestly, for sure. Well, friends, we have a victory. Cutting brass is no problem. Everything just falls out. The only thing is, it needs cleaning. See, the cut width is so thin and the thickness is so high for such small details, so you have to clean it by hand. The cut is clean, beautiful, and precise. Brass, so it cuts everything perfectly. The machine's dimensions are surprisingly good. Look at the antenna, the eyes. We'll clean all of this up now too, and I'll take a separate photo. So a quick look at the butterfly that was cut yesterday on the laser machine, I've cleaned it up. The cleaning issue was that the brass thickness is greater than the width of the lines that were cut yesterday. Plus, the cut width was also very, very thin. That's probably a huge challenge, so these machines are mostly used for jewelry cutting of silver and gold, as it was explained to me. It cuts brass up to 2 millimeters. It's precisely positioned, hits the mark. Everything seemed great yesterday. Nothing burned, scorched, or got cut off anywhere, which is actually surprising. There were a couple more tough tasks, and it handled them without a hitch. Even though they were extremely difficult, it still got them done.